Welcome to another edition of the Columbus Community Spotlight, brought to you by Bank of the Valley. Columbus City engineer Rick Bogus joining me. Rick, how are you doing?
Good, very good, Grant. Nice to see you today.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, and thanks for sitting down with me. You guys are very busy right now, and we're going to talk about some of these projects, but I'm sure you barely have time to even sit down and do this.
Well, it's good to get the information out, so I appreciate you coming.
Well, let's talk a little bit. I know with the groundbreaking of the 3rd Avenue Viaduct, that's something that people, even since I was in high school, you've been hearing about it. It's been forever. I think they date it back to the 20s that it's been mentioned, so It's been a long time. So what's going on with the viaducts?
Well, we're finally doing some things out there.
Yeah.
It's been a long process, but it's been an important process because we're getting a lot of money through the Nebraska Department of Roads and the Union Pacific Railroad. So there are a lot of steps need to be taken over the course of the project thus far. They have been taken, so we're starting to do some things. So far they've had removed some trees. They'll start clearing part of the area and start to put the fill in over the next month. So you see a lot of earth-moving vehicles out that way, and so we need to be cognizant of the safety of them crossing 3rd Avenue to put the dirt in. But 3rd Avenue will stay open for a long period of time yet, but they'll be crossing it, so safety first.
Yeah, especially with the it juts off to the side there, so it really won't affect too much of the traffic, it sounds like, until you get to that main part at the end where you really need to start connecting it, right?
Right, that's correct. What happens is on the east side, they'll move the dirt, they'll build the bridge, they'll do some utility work, and that'll all be to the side. So 3rd Avenue will be open, you'll be able to access all the businesses on 3rd Avenue for quite a while yet, and we'll let you know when that time comes. When that's going to be shut down for a while.
Well, I'm really excited about that. Grew up down on that side of the track, so I've been waiting for this for a long time, so that's very exciting. But we've got some other viaducts in the works as well. What's going on with 12th and 18th Avenue?
We do, yeah. Well, 18th Avenue is technically part of the 3rd Avenue Viaduct project, and that 18th Avenue is a pedestrian crossing. So right now, of course, it's a vehicle at grade crossing 18th Avenue, just south of SCOTUS. That'll change into a pedestrian crossing. So they will not start that till probably August of this year. And then they'll all kind of be done about the same time in 2018. So the traffic patterns will change a little bit. But once again, 18th Avenue at grade will still be open at least up to about August.
Cool.
And then we also have a 12th Avenue Viaduct that we are currently obtaining the property acquisitions on it. There's 40-some total acquisitions. I think there's 20-some total takings. By total takings, that's taking the houses. We have to follow all the rules of the Federal Uniform Act. So we're going through all that, and that just takes a long period of time. So it helps people. It's not just buys their property, but it helps them relocate, finds a similar type of house or a betterment of the house, and we help pay the moving costs. Once again, it's all through the federal requirements.
Now let's move on. Loop River Levee project. Where's that at? What's going on with that?
It's going pretty well. The recent rains have held them back a little bit. Some of the weather in December and January weren't very good for getting stuff done, but February was kind of a good month. And so, they're probably on schedule, maybe a little bit behind, but nothing too major. And so you'll see that wrapping up sometime this summer. And that's a very important project too. That's been on the books for a very long time. Like the Viaduct projects have been on the book for a very long time, but very important in that it protects about 30% of the city from the 100-year flood. Which what it really does is protect about those properties from mandating flood insurance. So that's a really important thing. Once we get that on the books, get that approved and cleared by FEMA, then it's a certified levee that really helps us out.
And sticking with kind of the 3rd Avenue theme, some more work going on over there. You said you guys are getting closer to working on this or finishing with that, or?
Yeah. So the other segment is 3rd Avenue from 8th Street south towards the Crow Run Golf Course. That's a little bit different pot from the Department of Roads called the Surface Transportation Program money. That too has it's got federal money, so it's a full federal oversight project, has some federal strings to it, so that too gets a lot of steps and hoops that need to be done. We are in the process of finishing up with the Federal Highway, Nebraska Department of Roads, so we can then proceed with obtaining those property acquisitions on that part. Now, there's no total takings on that part. Most of them are easements, but there are a few areas of corners and so forth that we might need to obtain some property. But we'd really like to try to get that done by the end of 2017 on the property side. And then what we'd really like to do is bid that over the winter and construct in 2018. Now, having said that, I realize it's already April. That's very aggressive, but we're going to try to do that the best we can. And we'll be tearing up that 3rd Avenue corridor with the viaducts pretty well. But as soon as we get that open, it'll arguably go from one of the worst roads in town to maybe one of the best.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I think people sound like they got to be excited that that's getting closer and closer, because yeah, that's always been just a road that we knew the viaduct was coming down the way, and you guys have kind of had your hands pinned behind your back because do you rebuild the road or are you spinning on the viaduct? So I think a lot of people excited that that's coming through. Let's talk about East Park a little bit. A cool project going on over there.
Yeah, the East Park addition. Over there off of 18th Avenue, north of SCOTUS. They have, some islands that are built into the roadways, and that area of town has been there for a long period of time. And over the years, people that have lived there have helped to mow them and maintain them, and they plant some trees there and so forth and so on. Some of those people have now moved on, and so the city is looking at doing a green infrastructure project. Be like a rain garden type of thing. And so we have hired a contractor that does this design to come up with a design for it. And one of the islands on the south side, we have a neighborhood and a neighbor that is interested in doing the maintenance of it. So, they'd be the people that would take care of a day-to-day operation, and anything larger the city would take care of. So not only beautifies it, it would probably help out with some of the localized flooding. I don't want to mislead anybody. That area is a really flat part of town. This is not going to solve it, but if it helps it out and it beautifies it, and we have somebody taking care of it, that's kind of a win all the way around.
Very cool. And some projects going on at other projects going on at Pawnee Park, both the baseball field and the football field. What's going on there?
Yeah. So on the visitor side of the football field, or the baseball side, if you will, over in Pawnee Park, we're reconstructing the bathrooms on that side. They are not ADA accessible. They're getting in really bad shape. We're also adding a locker room area for the referees or the umpires. Cool. And with that, then once that gets built, and that has started now doing the footings, and we'll get that built by summer, is to tear down the existing bathroom that's there now. And then the visitors' bleachers of the football fields are in pretty bad shape. They're movable, and they get moved every single year to turn for the baseball or turn for the football. And they're really old. They do not meet ADA requirements. They're falling apart. And so the idea would be to construct more permanent bleachers that would face the football field. And then we're kind of looking if we could do something to help out with the baseball side too in the same project.
So another big road project that's going on is on 23rd Street, Highway 30. What's going on with that? Right,
well, that's a Department of Roads project. And what it would do is it would totally reconstruct 23rd Street from 33rd Avenue to East 11th Avenue. That'd be done over probably a couple year period. Major disruptions, but it'd be really nice when it gets done. The Department of Roads has acknowledged that is a very heavily traveled part of US Highway 30, and it is kind of falling apart. If you remember, a couple years ago they tried to do an asphalt overlay, which to extend the life out a little bit. But that'll affect a lot of property, a lot of businesses up and down that corridor, and there's different types of businesses in the corridor. From 33rd Avenue side is very tight, and as you go further out east, it's not so tight. So there will potentially be some property acquisitions on that to make sure we get the correct sidewalks in. And then while we're doing that, the city will be redoing the very old infrastructure, the water and the sanitary sewer underneath it. They're also looking at doing some streetscaping, something to beautify that area. So we have a study going on right now that's kind of take a look at what can be done, what would the cost be associated, how will those get paid, and we'll kind of play that out and see how it goes. So that's probably, it's probably not until 2020, 2021, maybe 2022 down the road, but it's on the horizon, and we're starting that process today, working with the Department of Roads.
Something I was thinking about too, the Northeast Nebraska Economic Development, they want you guys to do some surveys, and there's some potential money for some potential projects here in central Columbus. We did a story on it, but I'm sure you guys are hoping people will go take those surveys, and because that sounds like there's a lot of money on the table that could really help you guys do some nice improvements here in central Columbus.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's on our website to take, and we encourage people to go do that. This was done a few years ago, and there were some improvements to some of the facades of the buildings downtown. So, it could be that, it could be other things. There's a whole grant process that you can fill out and follow, but it all starts with this survey, and so we have to show a need for it to get this grant money. So yeah, I'd very much encourage people to do that.
Rick, thank you so much.
All right, thanks Grant, I appreciate it.
And thank you guys for tuning in to another edition of the Columbus Community Spotlight, brought to you by Bank of the Valley. For Rick, I'm Grant Otten. We'll see you guys next time.